Aman wiped the sweat from his forehead as he closed the metal shutter of his small workshop halfway. It had been a long, exhausting day. Motorcycle engines, punctured tires, and noisy customers who never seemed satisfied. His back ached, and all he wanted was to go home, shower, and sleep. The evening sky was dimming into a warm shade of amber as the last birds circled overhead. Just as he reached for the lock, he heard a faint, uneven scraping sound behind him. KRR, KRR, KRR. It wasn't the typical rumble of a bike or car. It was softer, slower, almost like someone dragging something heavy. Aman turned around. A young woman, maybe in her mid-20s, was struggling to push a wheelchair toward him. The chair was old and creaky, the wheels bent at odd angles, and the seat fabric torn in several places. Her hands trembled from effort, but her expression remained calm and steady, as if she had grown used to fighting small battles like this every day. "Is this the mechanic shop?" she asked, trying to catch her breath. "Yes," Aman replied, stepping forward. "Let me help you." He gently steadied the wheelchair so it wouldn't tilt again. She gave a shy smile. I'm sorry to bother you this late. My name is Hania. This wheelchair, it keeps getting stuck. I've taken it to other places but no one seems to know how to fix it properly." Aman crouched beside the wheel, inspecting the damage. The left wheel barely moved, the bearings were worn out, and someone had forced the wrong-sized bolts into the frame. It wasn't a simple fix. It was a miracle the chair still moved at all. Most mechanics would refuse. Too much work, not enough profit. But Aman looked at Hania, her tired eyes, her quiet strength, and something inside him softened. "You didn't bother me," he said. "Sit here. I'll take a proper look." She hesitated. "Are you sure? People usually say it's not worth repairing." Aman smiled faintly. "Every machine can be repaired. And every person deserves to move freely." Her eyes glistened. Not with tears yet, but with the relief of being heard. She nodded and carefully transferred herself to a wooden stool while Aman rolled the wheelchair into his workshop. For the first time that day, he forgot his exhaustion. Something told him this wasn't going to be just another repair job. It was going to matter. Inside the dimly lit workshop, Aman pushed the wheelchair onto his old metal stand. The smell of engine oil, metal dust, and grease filled the air. Hania watched silently from the wooden stool, her fingers tracing the chipped edge of the seat as if she were afraid to hope too much. Aman grabbed his tools and began the inspection with focus and care. He turned the wheel slowly, listening to the grinding sound. "Whoever repaired this before didn't understand wheel mechanics," he muttered. "They forced the wrong bolt in, and now the axle is bent." Hania lowered her gaze. "I know. They always rush. Or they say it's too complicated. Sometimes they charge me too much, and still the chair breaks again." Her voice was soft but held years of disappointment. Aman paused, looking up at her. "How long have you had this wheelchair?" 7 years. She smiled faintly. "It's old and slow, but it's the only one I can afford." Aman nodded slowly, then returned to work. He removed the damaged bearings, replaced rusted screws, and rewired the tiny brake mechanism that had nearly snapped. With each step, he grew more irritated, not at her, but at the way she had been treated. No one deserves to depend on something so fragile. As he worked, Hania spoke again, almost hesitantly. "I used to walk. Not far, but enough to feel free. But after my accident, the doctors said I should use a wheelchair permanently." Her fingers tightened slightly. "It took me years to accept it. And now when this breaks, I feel trapped all over again." Aman's hands slowed for a moment. "You're not trapped," he said quietly. "You just need something reliable. Something made for you." She looked at him with gentle surprise. "You sound like someone who's fixed more than just engines." He chuckled softly. "I've repaired everything except my own life." It was a small joke, yet it made her smile genuinely, a smile that warmed the cold corners of the workshop. After nearly an hour, Aman tested the wheel, spinning it freely. It moved smoother than before, but he didn't stop. He checked the seat support, tightened the brakes, adjusted the frame height, and even cleaned the armrest padding. Hania watched him with growing admiration. No mechanic had ever taken this much care. "You're doing more than I expected," she whispered. Aman looked up with a gentle seriousness. "You deserve better than just enough. And for the first time, she truly believed him. Aman wiped his hands on a rag and stepped back, surveying the wheelchair. It no longer creaked or wobbled like a broken old relic. The wheels turned smoothly, the brakes worked perfectly, and every joint seemed stronger than before. But he wasn't finished. He had an idea, something beyond a simple repair. "Can I try it?" Hania asked hesitantly, sensing that this was more than just maintenance. "Of course," Aman said, smiling softly. "Just be careful." She slowly lowered herself onto the chair. The moment she shifted her weight, Aman activated a small lever hidden under the armrest. The footrests adjusted automatically, aligning perfectly with her legs. Her eyes widened. "How?" Aman grinned. "A little upgrade, something to make it easier for you to move around." He guided her outside into the fading sunlight. The wheelchair, though small, now had a custom electric motor subtly attached under the frame, a hidden battery pack, and sensors he had wired to the joystick. It looked ordinary, but it moved like a dream. With just a gentle push on the controls, Hania glided forward effortlessly, the chair responding as if it anticipated her thoughts. Tears welled up in her eyes. I can move without struggling. I can go anywhere." "Yes," Aman said softly. "I wanted you to feel free again." She spun around slowly, her laughter mixing with the warm evening breeze. For the first time in years, she felt unshackled. Every bump on the pavement felt like a gentle nudge, every turn effortless. She stopped, staring at him in disbelief. I don't even have words. This is more than I ever hoped for." Aman shrugged modestly. "I just thought you deserved more than a repaired chair. Something that gives you confidence, not limits." Hania's hands trembled as she reached out to touch his shoulder. You don't know what this means to me. People told me I'd never feel independent again. You gave me that back." Her voice broke, and tears slid down her cheeks. Aman looked away, pretending to inspect the wheelchair but secretly moved by her emotion. "Thank you, from the bottom of my heart," she whispered. "You're welcome," he replied quietly, a warmth spreading through his chest. "Just promise me you'll use it to chase everything you've ever wanted. Don't let anyone tell you limits are permanent." For the first time in a long while, Hania felt hope bloom inside her. The wheelchair was no longer a symbol of restriction, it was a key to her independence. And it was all because one mechanic had refused to treat her as just another job. The evening had deepened into night, and the first stars began to glimmer in the sky. Hania wheeled herself down the quiet street outside Aman's workshop, her movements smooth and effortless. Every turn, every gentle acceleration of the wheelchair made her laugh aloud, the sound full of disbelief and pure joy. She had never experienced this kind of freedom, not since the accident that had confined her to the old, faulty chair years ago. Aman watched her from the doorway, arms folded, a small, satisfied smile on his face. He had expected gratitude, maybe a few tears, but seeing her move so easily, so confidently, was far beyond what he had imagined. "I can go anywhere," Hania exclaimed, spinning in circles like a child on a playground swing. I can climb the ramp at the corner without struggling. I can even glide over the cobblestones." Aman chuckled softly. "I told you, you deserve more than just a repaired chair." Hania came to a gentle stop in front of him, tears streaming freely now. She lowered herself to her knees in front of the wheelchair, running her hands over the sleek new frame. "It's beautiful. It's like it knows me, like it understands what I need. I can't believe this is real." "You earned it," Aman said quietly, stepping closer. "All I did was build it. You've carried the weight for years. You deserve to feel free." Her lips trembled as she looked up at him, her eyes glistening with emotion. I thought independence was gone for me forever. But now I can live again. I can go to work, meet friends, travel, even dream bigger. I can chase life, not just survive it." Aman felt a lump in his throat. Most people never realized the power of a simple act, fixing something broken. But sometimes, that simple act could transform a life entirely. Hania's hands reached for his, holding them tightly. "You don't know what you've done for me. You've given me hope, freedom, dignity. I'll never forget this. I'll never forget you." Aman smiled, his eyes misty. "Just promise me one thing. Promise me you'll use this to live fully. That's all I ask. She nodded, her tears spilling over into a joyful laugh. I promise. As she wheeled herself down the street again, faster than ever before, Amon watched her disappear into the night. The old, beaten wheelchair was gone, replaced by a symbol of possibility, strength, and hope. And for the first time in a long while, Amon realized that sometimes, the smallest acts, an extra bolt, a hidden motor, a little care, could change someone's world forever. Hania's laughter echoed back to him, a melody of freedom, gratitude, and new beginnings, leaving both of them with hearts overflowing.